Hi folks, this is Mike. I'm one of the elders here. I've been an elder for actually just under a year, but I've been a member of Crosspoint for over 14 years. So what is God teaching me during this time? I think that's really related to um, how does that affect my walk with Him. I think the biggest thing going on right now is the fact that we're reminded that we're not really in control. Um, God is sovereign and in control of all things, and as much as we like to think that we have control in this world, it's times like this that really show us that how little control we have and how much we really do need to depend on Him. Um, and I've seen some Facebook things going around saying similar things like He needed to take sports away. He needed to take all those idols that we have, particularly as Americans, because it really takes us away from Him. Um, and so it's great on one hand to see that kind of stuff happening now, and it really does make you um, pay attention to your faith a little bit more. It really does make you realize the sovereignty of God and how He is working through these circumstances. I know there's a lot of hardship out there. I know there's people out of work, there's people who are ill, and those are terrible things. But there's also a lot of good things going on. And those are the things that you have to try to look for and see. Things like the hearts and windows, to show the love, the neighbors helping neighbors, the people that are reaching out to others, families that are spending more time together now than they would normally, being able to have dinners together where normally you're on the road in a car grabbing drive-through because you got to get to the next practice or the next game. There's just so many good things that are going on, even in the midst of all of this. And I really hope that those things don't get lost while we're in this time of pausing and seeing things changing in our world. I hope that when things get back to normal, that we don't lose these things, that families just don't fall back into their previous ways of not seeing each other and spending time with each other, and we get back to our busy lives and we forget to read the Bible a little bit more, pray a little bit more, praise a little bit more. I really hope that these things stick with us past this pandemic. As far as the church is concerned, this is the time for God's people to really shine. I was on a call a couple months ago with FEMA, and they were talking about disaster relief. And one of the things that they just flat out said was that in the major disasters around the United States, it's typically faith organizations that do a large part of the helping in their communities. And that's really a wonderful testimony to what churches do, and what the people of God are called to do when God calls us to love one another. That really is what that's about, reaching out and helping not just other people in Crosspoint, but your neighbors and other people who are not even believers. But they see Christ through you because you reach out and you help them during this time. And help can be as simple as a phone call. I know there's a lot of older people who may not be going to church but are very nervous about getting sick right now. And because of the isolation of not being able to talk to people face to face, they're feeling very lonely. So making phone calls to people and just talking to them, or if they are technology savvy, being able to text them or Facebook message them or something to be able to reach out to people just really shows God's love and your love for them, just to say, hey, how are you doing? And if there are people need groceries or something, if that's something you can help with, then that too just really shows God's love through the church. And so I really encourage that, and I see that happening, and it really is encouraging, and it really does reflect God working in your life. That ties into the mission, not only the mission of the church, but Jesus' mission for us is to take care of one another. We do not live in isolation. We're all in this world together. We're all serving each other, living with each other, and I think it really takes something like this to happen for people to really remember how much we depend on one another. And so, God's mission of love one another, we are all part of the same vine, really comes ringing true at times like this. And so I really encourage people to reach out to other Crosspointers, because just because you can't see them on Sunday morning doesn't mean that you can't reach out to them during the week. If you have a small group, that's a great way. I strongly encourage your small groups to get together and keep in contact with one another during this time, even if it's not a Bible study. Although it'd be great if you did. If you just make sure that you keep in contact with each other, check in on each other, pray with one another, see if there's any prayer requests, make sure everybody's feeling well. Just show that community as Jesus would want us to do, so that we do all hang together during all of this, and we come through it on the other side, and we'll be a stronger church. We'll be a stronger body of believers, and if God's working in people's lives, and they see that, then maybe we'll have some new members of Crosspoint after this is all over as well. And so be careful, be safe, stay at home, and I look forward to seeing everybody soon.